Welcome back, club members, to this week's episode of the Hollywood Hubbies Film Club. I'm Jeffrey.
And I'm Brandon. Last week we did our review of Disney's animated film, Beauty and the Beast. We hope that took everyone down memory lane and enjoyed it. Definitely reminded us a lot of childhood memories and of the stage musical, too.
Yeah, it was basically a review of the stage musical.
A dual review. We officially have hit over 4,000 streams.
Oh my God.
Let's go, everyone. So yeah, here's a road to 5K and also some more followers. Don't forget to follow, not just listen, but join us on our IG page and our TikTok at Hollywood Hubbies.
Yes, and our own social media pages.
That as well.
At Fave Musical Clips
and Ferruccio Arts.
For those of you who are just joining us, we are reviewing AFI's top 25 movie musicals of all time. At the end of every episode, we are spinning the wheel to give us our movie for the next episode. That way you can watch along with us.
Well, it's time to skip to Malou and join us under the bamboo tree this week as we review Vincent Minnelli's 1944 classic, Meet Me in St. Louis. Meet Me in St. Louis is an American musical film produced by MGM, directed by Vincent Minnelli, written by Irving Britcher and Fred Finkelhoff? You like that? It almost you have to have an accent when you say a name like that. Finkelhoff.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
Thanks. With music by various producers and artists. However, the most credited are George Stahl, Conrad Sellinger, and Roger Edens.
Yeah, when I was looking it up, I felt like every song had a different writer. Yeah. They just kind of
jammed it, pulled it all together.
Just scrounged up some songs that were laying around, and they were like, I think this might work. This movie doesn't have much of a plot, so we can just pop a song in.
Yeah.
The film stars Judy Garland, Margeret O Brien, Mary Astor, Lucille Bremer, Tom Drake, Leon Ames, Harry Davenport, and a personal favorite of mine, Marjorie Main.
The film was adapted from a series of short stories by Sally Benson, originally published in the New Yorker magazine called The Kensington Stories, and later in novel form as Meet Me in St. Louis.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I looked it up online and read some, or if I at some point bought a copy online. I could be making this up, but I swear that I've sat down and tried to read some of these before.
Of Meet Me in St. Louis, the novel, or the actual Kensington Stories?
I don't know.
I wonder.
Yeah. I just remember stories about.
Well, I mean, some of these New Yorker collections, I mean, wasn't All About Eve originally a New Yorker collection, like short stories?
I think it was just one short story that was just put in the magazine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I could just be making that up, but I swear I have a memory of sitting down and reading some of these stories and then being just cute little growing up stories.
Interesting. I'm sure at this time there's got to be a collection of it out there. Upon its release, Meet Me in St. Louis was both a critical and commercial success. It became the second highest grossing film of 1944, second only to Going My Way, and was also MGM's most successful musical of the 1940s. In 1994, the film was deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant by the Library of Congress and selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry.
What a shocker. Among its accolades, the film was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Score for a Musical Picture, and Best Song for the Trolly song. Although not winning any, Margeret O Brien did receive an honorary Juvenile Award.
So Judy wins the Juvenile Award years prior.
Yeah, and for 1939's The Wizard of Oz. 39. Well, I think it was a couple movies. I think at that time they would cluster movies together and be I think it was Wizard of Oz and Babes on Broadway or God, I'm so
Babes
bad
in Arms. So, or is it Babes on Broadway?
I don't know, because there's sequels too. It's she had a bunch of them with Mickey Rooney.
Got it. So her and her Mickey.
Yeah, one of those.
Okay, so it's the same type of award that they would do for obviously minors at the time.
Yeah, best recognizing a child star of that year for like accomplishments.
Can't take them seriously. They're not real actors.
Yeah, and
They're just children.
and there weren't enough to make it a juvenile category to like a competitive award.
So. Unlike now, I mean, the youngsters just. I wonder who still holds the record. Is it Anna Paquin? Possibly.
What for youngest?
Yeah, youngest Oscar winner for an actual competitive race, not a juvenile award.
I think there was one in like the 70s or something that had a younger
best supporting actress at age 11, becoming the second youngest winner in Oscar history.
Who was the first youngest? Tatum O'Neal.
Look at me. Look at you.
What was that for? Paper Moon?
Yes, at the age of 10.
That's crazy.
So, had you ever seen this movie before? If so, what is your first and fondest memory of
it? This was definitely one of my faves growing up. Like, I had a VHS copy. I watched it so many times. I think on either an old DVD copy or maybe on that VHS copy at the end, because sometimes they would. I know that I had a Wizard of Oz VHS. Maybe it was a two cassette.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that one had like a making of thing at the end. There was one also for Meet Me in St. Louis. I can't remember if it was on the VHS or if it was on a DVD copy I had later, but I watched that thing a million times as well. I know I was trying to look for it online so we could watch it after we watched the movie just to see a little bit of the making of it.
Yeah, I remember you're such a documentary person.
So. But I couldn't find it. So if anybody has a copy of that and can just plop it on YouTube, I mean, go ahead. I won't tell. Love this movie. I think it's great. It's pretty funny because it really doesn't have too much of a plot. It's very much just like a family film, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the plot is not right. I mean,
there's a plot that goes through the whole thing, but it's not there. There's not like I guess the biggest family event would be that he wants them to move to New York.
It's almost like a coming of age story, but like a coming to age as a family story, right? Like instead of watching just one person's journey, you really are just like watching the whole family's journey, like grow through this, through these seasons. So I do agree with you on that. It's not a heavy plot.
Yeah. No, but the scenes are funny. The dialogue is great. The sets and the costumes are beautiful. Like
very your style of like beauty that you appreciate. Aesthetically, it is very much my husband's style of movie.
Yeah. I mean, right from the first shot after what is it? It says summer 1903, and then like they show the street and the houses, and I was just like could not stop talking about the little window coverings that were on each of the house. I just thought that was so cool, and I was like, why don't we have those anymore? Like that would help so much with like light getting into the house.
And also snow. I mean, we don't have snow here, but
rain, snow. Like if it was raining and you wanted to have the window open, like it would help with rain coming in. I don't know. I just thought they were so pretty. And then the Smith family had like the cutest ones on their windows. They had like the striped ones. I just was like,
kind of looked like an ice cream decoration store, like with the stripes,
like a parlor. I just
the big porches,
love a big porch. Love a huge porch that you can hang out on.
I could live in like a modern box house with mirrors and like white counters, and that would not be Jeffrey's style at all.
No, I want a big wooden house
with wallpaper
and like it's for sure haunted. Like I don't know, those
double wraparound porch would be your dream.
Yeah, I just love like a big porch or a wraparound porch. Something about that, it's just like it always looks so like cool and homey and fun. And
maybe it was just so hot inside. A lot of these homes had to have these big places to hang out outside because it was just too hot.
Yeah. But everything about this just brings me back to childhood and like watching it a million times. And I think just within the last couple of years, we went and saw it on the big screen, which I had never seen before. So I was just in heaven, actually getting to see it and hear it like in an actual proper movie theater.
Yeah. Shout out to, was it El Segundo's Old Town movie theater?
Old Town Music Hall?
Music Hall, yes. Old
Yes.
Town Music Hall in the El Segundo area.
If you ever want to go to an old movie theater, I think it is actually from the olden days of like classic Hollywood, and you can tell when you walk in. Like, this theater is small.
1921 it was built. Small theater. They actually have an organ that they play. They play the shorts before the movies. It's definitely a really, really cool place to check out.
Yeah.
Like,
everything about it is so tiny and quaint.
But they make their fresh popcorn, and they've got some cool stuff. I mean, anything ranging from Disney films to some horror films. They really do follow the seasons at that movie theater. But yeah, if you want to check them out on their IG, they're at Old Town Music Hall.
Great theater. It was really fun to see on the big screen. Check it out if you can, if you're in the LA area. What about you? What was your first memory?
And I really couldn't tell you. This was not a go-to movie of mine, not for any particular reason. I mean, I do remember it, of course, around the holidays, it being on television. But I can't say I ever owned it on a VHS or a DVD. Not for any reason in particular. I don't, it just was not something that I gravitated towards as a kid.
You probably knew the songs more than you knew the actual movie.
Yeah,
because a lot of the songs are like...
I knew some of the songs, 2 of them in particular, but the songs are more well known than I think the movie is. But nothing I can really correlate back to. I grew up in a house of 70s musicals, acid trips, and
baked beans coming through television sets.
It's just I don't know. It just wasn't a watch for my family very often.
That's a shame.
It is.
I'm just kidding.
No, it is. It is.
No, really cool I'm just kidding.
I'm actually glad that my memories of it are now more with you, because it is a movie that you really like, and when we do see something special about it, we'll go see it on big screen, or you'll put it on. Usually around the holidays, I think you watch it more. But yeah, I'm glad I have more memories of this movie with you now.
Like, even though it has all the even though it has all the different seasons, I feel like people generally correlate it to a Christmas film.
Definitely.
Because the last big arc of the storyline ends in Christmas.
Correct.
And, have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Absolutely.
It's kind of been...
It definitely leads that way.
Yeah, it's been put in that category. I'm totally fine with it.
Agreed. So our plot. This movie is definitely divided into a series of seasonal vignettes, you guys. So starting with summer of 1903, the story relates about basically like a year in the life of the Smith family in St. Louis, leading up to the opening of the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, most commonly referred to as the World's Fair, which opened in the spring of 1904. So our movie starts in the summer of 1903. The Smith family leads a comfortable upper middle class life. Alonzo Smith and his wife Anna have a son, Lon Jr., and 4 daughters, Rose, Esther, Agnes, and Tootie. Esther, the second oldest daughter, who is played by Judy Garland, is in love with the boy next door,
Drawn Druid
is in love with the boy next door, John Truitt, played by Tom Drake.
You know what's so funny about this is that maybe it's not that funny because I say this a lot. I always forget like character names. I mean, I obviously know that her name is Esther in this, but I never put together that this is the first time that she played an Esther.
I said it last night.
Yeah, you said that and I was like, oh yeah, Esther Blodgett from A Star is Born. I don't know. Maybe she's played more Esthers, but I never...
Wouldn't it be funny if she has?
I never put it together that this was like one of her Esther roles. Maybe because she's also Vicky Lester. I don't know.
Maybe that was part of the throwback when they did A Star is Born.
No, because what's her name in the first A Star is Born was already Esther.
You're right.
I mean, nice try. Nice try, but no.
We get introduced to this family quite quite easily. Everyone's busy at home. Mom is making ketchup in the kitchen with Katie, the housekeeper. Katie, played by the one and only Marjorie Main, who my husband loves.
I freaking love her so much. She brings so much to a movie. I don't know if they just wrote these roles for her knowing that she's hilarious or if she added more to them. I don't know what it was, but she would take these side characters and just she would have the best one-liners in every movie.
Mhm.
Specifically this and obviously The Women, 1939's The Women.
Mhm.
She is so funny in that movie. I don't know. I just think that she could throw a one-liner out there and just I was cackling last night watching her. Like I've seen this movie so many times, but I was just sitting there laughing so hard because she just like zero effort. Like these lines would just like come out of her mouth, and I was just like, "Gosh,
Oh
she's so
yeah,
freaking funny."
yeah, very, very much in a
Was
I
she from vaudeville too?
must have
I
been,
don't know. Like
must
a
have
lot of
been.
these people who got these side characters, like they had like an
Yeah,
origin in vaudeville.
yeah, very similar to just like you're saying, like a Hattie McDaniel, the way that lines were written for her, or a Thelma Ritter.
Totally.
These are women that they get their punchline. They are going to make their one-liners count.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you on
Yeah,
that.
she
I
got
could
a
see
lot.
why you're drawn to her on screen.
Yeah, she had some of the funniest moments, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a very casual introduction to the family at home in the kitchen. The first song we get right from the get-go is the title song, which is Meet Me in St. Louis. We have
The never-ending reprise of Meet Me in St. Louis for the first 15
for the
minutes.
first time, right? Yeah, for the first time. But yeah, with Tootie starting the song and then Grandpa, who lives upstairs, strolling through the house and singing it. So yeah, it's the first time we hear
Wait,
it.
it's not Tootie who sings it first. It's Agnes.
It is?
Agnes comes in from swimming. Tootie's on the ice truck.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Agnes. That's like schlumping in, right?
Yeah, she's all wet from taking
There
a
you
swim,
go.
and she puts on probably her dad's shoes or her grandpa's shoes, somebody's shoes. She puts these giant shoes on to go up to the bathroom.
Totally, yeah,
and
you're
that's
right.
when she knocks on the door, and then Grandpa comes out. And
strolling around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so funny because like she's singing it, and she's kind of like got like a runny nose, and she's sneezing, and then like Grandpa comes out, and she goes in the bathroom, and he comes out, and he starts singing the song. And I love that they had him singing it like he didn't know all the lyrics. Like there's like one part where he's just like coochie coochie coochie, and I was like, this is how we sing songs. Like we don't.
Coochie.
Wait, is that what he was saying?
Yeah. So funny.
But yeah, when he was singing it, I was like, this is literally how we sing songs. We'll find one word and we'll just sing the whole song with that one word.
Oh my gosh, that's classic. Yeah, one of the one-liners that jumped out of Katie was about her friend that was having trouble with her husband, him being a man and all. I was like, that's to the point. Esther, in this first scene, it does feel, when we first do get introduced to Lester,
Vicky,
right? When we first do get introduced to Esther, it does feel like quite of a breath of fresh air with Judy. And I don't know, she just seems so comfortable and effortless in this role. I don't know. I know some Judy history, but I have mentioned before, I am not a Judy gay, so I don't know the ins and outs of Judy's entire life. But it does just feel so anxiety free. Like there's not a lot of heaviness to her in this film.
Mm-hmm. I mean, first off, the script probably plays into that because they are upper middle class. It's funny when you just said that you called them upper middle class, and I was like, geez, what was upper class? Because like these people are living well,
right? I know.
This street, these houses are like 50 feet away from each other. They have these huge lawns. They're dressed to the T. Like
what was
their dad is a lawyer, so he's probably making good. He's a junior partner at the firm, and so I was like, what was upper class? Like the Vanderbilts, like like you had to own like I guess that's what it is. But I was just like, wow, that was living well back then. That house was huge. But going back to what you were saying about Judy Garland, I know that even though she's still playing a teenager in this movie, and I know that that was one of her hesitations of actually taking the role, was that she was a little bit older and they wanted her to play like a 17-year-old. So she was going, I think she was like, oh gosh, now I don't want to play another young teenage role. But there's something very mature and womanly about her in this film. I think maybe it's just the upper class of it all. She kind of gives this air of maturity. And I think people kind of look at this as being one of her first more mature roles. Funny enough, even though she is playing someone 17. So I think, even when we were watching a while back the Judy Garland TV movie with Judy Davis, this is literally where they switch Judy Davis in, and they have the little montage of all of her magazine covers saying, this is when Judy Garland's film career went from girl to woman.
Gotcha.
And they have Judy Davis, who's in her 40s or 50s. I don't know how old she was at the time, but they have her, playing Esther Smith. And I'm like, oh gosh, no, like she's too old to be playing this role.
Yeah.
But they kind of used it as this is her first mature role.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I think that she really probably liked that. And even though she was hesitant, I know that Vincent Minnelli, this was one of the first times on screen, I believe, that Judy was, filmed without her nose discs in her nose, like specifically in like The Wizard of Oz, to kind of make her nose more elegant and long, I believe. And then she wore a teeth, like a flipper to straighten out her teeth. And I think he just wanted to show her more as herself, and he took off those things. And I think that when she first saw the film or saw reels of the film, she said that it was the most beautiful she's ever looked on screen.
I could see it.
So I think overall everything was just kind of coming together for her in this film. I don't know much about the behind the scenes. I think there was some of the later Judy Garland that was kind of peeking out a little bit during this, but overall I think that you're right. It is one of her most natural.
And honestly,
sorry, that was very long-winded, but I had a point.
No. I from what I have seen in regards to her movies, I can say this is definitely one that she's just got a smoothness about her. It all just seems so natural,
I agree.
My goodness. Lucille Bremer as Rose. Stunning.
She's so beautiful. And again, I think that they play off each other so well. I don't know how well they knew each other off screen, or if they were just like the utmost of professionals with each other, but they really had that sisterly bond, and they kind of played off each other so well. I love any of their scenes together. Like I love the first scene when Rose comes into the house and they're talking about the phone call that's going to happen, that where they're going to switch dinner to an earlier time so that Rose can have this phone call coming from New York. And there's just a fun play.
They're like scheming together. Yeah, that's great.
They play off each other very well.
After we properly meet Rose and Esther, we do go into our next song, which is The Boy Next Door. What are your thoughts on this song?
I think it's a very pretty song. I love Judy Garland's voice. I mean, I don't think there's a song that Judy Garland can't sing. Like she will take a song and make it her own and make it good, if that makes any sense. But it is very funny because you're introduced to this family and these characters, and you get a brief look at John Truitt that lives next door, and he's just, I don't think there was much to do back in the day, so I think he's just out on his front lawn just kind of like staring up into the sky. Did he have a pipe or something?
I
don't know. So. I swear he's just standing there on his lawn, like looking, probably saying like, oh, we're so lucky we have so much money. I don't know, like he's just bathing in the sunlight. And then you get this song from Judy Garland, which like you would swear like that
she's got this dying love.
Yeah, this undying love for this boy. And you're like, like I understand that's part of it. Like she's never talked to him, but like it just comes off so strong of like this love that she has for this boy. But so it is kind of funny in the scene, but at the same time, I do think it's a very pretty song.
Yeah, I think she sounds good in it. Not one of my favorite songs, but I think she sounds good in it. It is kind of shot very simple until the end when they're like when she's closing up the curtain in front of her face. There's like some really great shots like through like the sheer curtain when she's sitting there. Something that definitely, did pop out at me. But yeah, I think she sounds great. Like you said, it's really hard for her to not sound amazing in a song. So Tootie is riding with the Iceman, Mr. Neely, and debates whether St. Louis is the nation's top city. Rose, who is the eldest daughter, by the way, she is hoping in vain to receive a marriage proposal from Warren Sheffield. He's basically the one that's going to be phoning the house later, in which Jeffrey was just saying the girls are scheming to try to rearrange the time of dinner so that like not everyone is like eavesdropping in on the conversation, I guess.
Yeah, it starts off with Esther asking Katie if she can say that she's having family issues and she needs dinner to be an hour earlier.
That's right.
And so she kind of starts off the scheme, and the mother kind of knows why. And so like at first, like Katie's kind of fibbing to her and saying, "Oh, I need dinner to be an hour early." But then at some point, the mother even says it like, "Oh, Rose has a call coming in." I think they all kind of know what's going on, except the father.
But because the mom even makes the first comment about her age at that point too, being like, "Rose, you're too young to even be thinking about marriage right now."
Which is funny because when Katie and Esther are talking about it, Esther says that she's kind of getting up there in age. Right. And then Katie's like, "Well, here comes the old maid now." Yeah, and it's like, right. She's just barely out of high school. So it's such a sarcastic remark because, oh my God, she's nowhere near an old maid. But, here's Esther, 17 years old, saying like, we need to get her married. Like she needs to get this marriage proposal.
That was too funny. Rose's turquoise house dress, this like robe that she's wearing in the kitchen, is so gorgeous. Both the girls are almost wearing like, I think you had mentioned it's like a kimono style. It looks it, right?
Yeah, I don't want to guess and be wrong, but it's right when their father's coming home. They've already washed their hair because that was like one of the plot lines in the beginning. Like I said, this movie doesn't have much of a plot, so we've got
better wash your hair now before it gets too late.
So
they didn't have blow dryers back then, guys. So
the mother is making ketchup, which I didn't like. Did they call it ketchup, but it was soup? Because we saw them making this red ketchup, and then later at dinner, we see them eating, like, tomato soup. Was it one and the same?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No, because they were bottling it in little thin bottles.
Okay.
Yeah. And the soup was later. Maybe they came out of a cook like a pot.
Maybe they just had a lot of tomatoes, so they said we'll make ketchup and we'll make tomato soup.
Yeah,
but anyway,
just looked so thin. That's why you were like, "Ooh, the ketchup's so thin." But maybe it was more vinegary back then. Maybe it was thinner back then before we made it thicker with preservatives and stuff. I
don't know, but whatever they were bottling up was very thin. It could have just been like bad movie magic and it just like made water red. But, they're making ketchup, and then, the girls had to go wash their hair. And so then now you see them, their hair is freshly washed, and they're in these robes that are very floral and so pretty.
So beautiful. Shout out to costume designer Irene Sharaff, who just so happens to be a 5-time Oscar winner, by the way.
Well, I mean, look at the outfits in this movie. Every single scene, we were like, oh my God, like Esther comes in her tennis outfit, beautiful with the stripes. These robes are beautiful. I have a hair question for you, though.
Before we go to hair, real quick, before we jump there. If anyone wants to look up Irene's credits, you should note that her last name is spelled Sharaff. So yeah, I think it is Sharaff. Either way, she won for West Side Story, Cleopatra, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, The King and I, and American in Paris. What were you going to say about hair?
Oh, So before they wash their hair, and Esther has this big, thick bang on her head that I think a lot of fans of the film either love or hate this Esther Smith, Judy Garland bang that she has. It's very, some people absolutely hate it. But then after they wash their hair, she kind of has this like side swoop kind of, oh, I just washed my hair, swooped my hair to the side. I thought that hair was so pretty. I wish that was her hair the whole movie. Like, what did you think of
I
like
didn't notice anything awkward about her hair in this movie. I thought her hair always looked great. The only scene I didn't love both the girls' hair was at the night of the Christmas ball when it was all up and like curly and stuff like that. That's when I didn't necessarily like it. But yeah, I didn't think that her normal thick bang that you said, her thick rolled bang, I didn't think it was awkward at all in the movie. I thought she looked beautiful the entire time. But you like the more casual around the house look that they have going on.
Well, it was just like a really pretty swoop to the side bang, and you can kind of see more of her face. The other one is a very thick. I don't necessarily mind it, but I know from reading online, some people are like, "What's going on with her hair?" But it is a period.
Yeah, it's period.
It's period, and I guess that was just the style of the early 1900s.
Sorry, Judy Gaze. She's not always gonna look like Dorothy Gale.
Well, can we talk a little bit about Tootie? We kind of rushed through her introduction. I just want to talk about how
the ice truck.
Yes, the ice truck scene is so cute, and I just think that Tootie is such an interesting character because that little girl is dark-sided. Like she is so. She's not as psychotic as Elmira from the Animaniacs, but she kind of gives me like a little bit like she looks cute, but the things she talks about are so like they're just so interesting. Like her dolls, she doesn't just play dolls, but she talks about her doll that's gonna die soon, and she has 4 fatal diseases, and we're gonna do a funeral.
She's got a little bit of like a twisted side.
Yeah, she's very macabre, like very interested in like
probably what your sister was like growing up.
I could see that for sure. Very just very interested in like very macabre subjects, and you can see like the excitement in her eyes, and I'm just like, she is so not, she has this little cute girly face, and then she's talking about these things like having funerals and talking about blood spurting from like a gunshot wound or whatever. So it's just she's such an interesting little menace to society.
So we finally meet Dad here after a long day of work. Love his energy, by the way, that he's bringing into the household, and how his wife kind of has to talk him down sometimes because he's always like on 11, But yeah, they're just being sneaky, coordinating this whole dinner situation since Warren is going to be calling. By the way, Leon...
They being the daughters and Katie, not Alonzo and the mother.
That's true. That is very true. Yes. By the way, Leon Ames, who plays Dad or Papa, he's so handsome.
He is very handsome. He comes in guns a-blazing. He's had a hard day at work. He doesn't want to hear Meet Me in St. Louis another time because Esther and Rose are like, playing the piano and singing Meet Me in St. Louis, and he's just like, shut up, I don't want to hear this freaking song again. So he comes in and he's just he
had a long day of work. Okay.
Yeah. He is you. No, I'm just kidding.
A long day of work.
He also gets a lot of great one-liners similar to Katie, and their banter together. We haven't gotten to it yet, but they have a lot of great banter with each other because he gets a lot of great one-liners, and they can kind of play off each other's
in
energy.
This next scene, the dinner table scene, right? I mean, like the comedic deliveries that they have with each other, they are great. When the phone call finally comes in from Warren, that whole... him not really hearing her or her not hearing him, the shouting back and forth over the phone is so funny.
Oh my God.
It's written so well.
It is. And just the way that they have the camera, because they have Rose off to the side of the shot with their big phone on the wall. And then you see the entire dinner table, and they're all staring at her, waiting, anticipating what's going to happen from this phone call, because they're all hoping that he's going to propose. And then you've even got Katie, who opens up the, like, I'm guessing like the serving window, like the window they could pass food through, but it's only her, so she's not passing food to anybody, but she kind of uses it to kind of open up and kind of sneak a listen as well. And I mean, they're having this mundane conversation about, like, I can't believe I'm calling you from New York. What's the weather like?
It's fine.
To the point where, like, they run out of things to talk about, and she's like, what did you say? And he's like, oh, nothing, I was waiting for you to talk. And she's like, hello, are you gonna do you have something to ask me? And
it goes nowhere.
It goes nowhere, but it's funny because his voice is so loud on the phone that, like, you kind of wonder how she can't hear him, because then you have Agnes at the table. He says something and Rose keeps going, what did you say? And then Agnes is like, he said da da da, and like they kind of brush her aside, like, shut up, they're on the phone. But it's a very cute family scene.
So Esther properly meets John when he attends the Smiths' farewell party for the college-bound Lon Jr., who's the son. It's the costumes in this party scene of everyone coming together, so beautiful, especially against the neutral palette of the house. But yeah, I mean, we have this big farewell party that's going on, which brings us into a bigger, one of the only really like dance numbers, I would say, of the film, and that's "Skip to My Lou." What are your thoughts about this whole family gathering at the farewell party scene?
Yeah, it's very funny because it's a farewell party, but it's only the kids in the neighborhood, so it's almost like a kid's house party, or like the teenagers' house
like
party.
Teenager house party.
And like, I just love seeing a house party from the 40s, which is meant to be the 1900s, compared to like what you would see in like a teen film now, like where there'd be like alcohol and loud music, and you've got these kids in these like big dresses and petticoats and stuff, and they're singing "Skip to My Lou" and like do-si-doing with each other. So
music. They did have
no, I know, but I was
music.
like, "Ooh, this is a raucous party!" Like,
I guess for the upper middle class, it probably was.
Yeah. So I think it's a very cute scene. Again, they did a lot with this little, like, with camera angles and everything. Like, even though it's a big house, it's not necessarily the biggest area that they're in. So it was interesting to see what they did with this dance number, and camera angles to kind of make it not look too crowded. Like, it didn't look like they were like breathing on each other's necks. Like, they were still dancing around and having a good time, but it still looked kind of quaint, and like you really were in someone's living room while they're having this like do-si-do.
I think it looks really, really beautiful.
I specifically like this scene because I think many a time I have watched this movie at home and been watching this scene and taken a picture of the screen to show you the one dancer that I swear looks like a young you. Only from certain angles, but I've taken pictures of this one dancer that dances with Rose and with Esther. You even made a comment about how he probably was the best dancer there, because they had him partnered up with both of the sisters quite a few times. But there are certain shots where I have taken a screenshot and been like, oh my God, look, it's you. You're a time traveler. This is you from back in the day. And like, I think we've even put it online before. You've even put it on your Instagram.
I think
like,
so, or Facebook.
And I swear it gets like a 50-50 of like people being like, I can see it. But mostly your family's like, Jeffrey's crazy. That looks nothing like you. But yeah,
he must have been one of the better dancers, because he's partnered up with Judy a lot in the film, throughout the film, not just this scene, throughout the film.
Yeah, you also see a better look at his face in the Trolley song that comes up later. He's like directly behind her.
The two younger sisters are caught spying on the party from the staircase, so Esther gets Tootie to sing a song with her in front of the group.
Begrudgingly.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She wants them to go to bed, and
everyone's like,
the party goers are like, let him sing a song. So I think it's actually Tootie that's like, well, I want to sing something, and she says like, we'll sing one thing if you promise to go to bed, or something along the lines of that. So first she sings that weird I was drunk last night, dear mother thing, which I was like, is this song really that bad? Like the way that Esther like kind of grabs her arm and she's like, you're a very bad girl, because it's literally, I was drunk last night, dear mother, I was drunk the night before, but if you forgive me, mother, I'll never get drunk anymore. I was like, okay, is that really that controversial?
Well, she was a little kid back then.
I know, but like
today.
No, but I mean, she already said drunk 3 times. Like, and so the punchline being, I'll never get drunk anymore. And everyone's like, woo! and Esther's like, Tootie, you're a very bad girl. I'm like, she already said drunk. She actually is now saying she doesn't want to get drunk.
You're like, she got better at the end.
Yeah, the end she's saying, forgive me and I'll stop drinking. So I don't know why it was such a big hoopla.
So the song she sings with Esther is Under the Bamboo Tree. I do think that the history of this song, it does date back to ragtime and minstrel shows, which of course had blackface entertainment. Removing that aspect out of this song, because thank God they didn't like do anything that disrespectful, and they didn't mock it to that degree in this film. Removing those aspects out of where this song came from, what do you think about the performance of this song in this movie?
You know, it's funny that you say that, because it kind of opened my eyes a little bit to this scene, because you were the one that said, oh, is this song, is this the scene where they sing a song that's kind of racist? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's the Bamboo Tree song, and I don't think so. And
I was like, I think it's a cringy song.
Yeah, you said it. I think it's a cringy song. And so I was like, no, I just had never thought about it. And so last night was the first time that I was watching it with a different lens, because I've always watched it as a very cute sisterly moment. And, you know, I'll get into that in a second, but we had the subtitles on and I was kind of watching the lyrics, and, you know, they say that the man in the song was a Zulu from, I can't remember the place that they said he was from, but I watching the lyrics on the screen, and then they are quoting what this man is saying to the woman, and everything is very like, if you like a me like I like a you, like it comes off a little mocking. And I never heard it in that way until you said it. And then you even said, oh, this is a song that they used to do in minstrel shows. And, you know, they would do it in blackface. And I'm like, oh, you know, you really have to do your research. And this is a prime example of like me and my ignorance of this song, and going, oh, I don't think it was so bad. And then I actually read it and I go, oh no, that's a shame that, you know, it does come off with a kind of mocking racial undertone. So yeah, that was a bummer. But if I look at the scene as watching the sisters, I think it's such a cute scene, because there's so many natural moments that kind of, again, I don't know if they were in the script or if Judy just had this protective vibe over Margeret O Brien, but just the way that they kind of play off each other, and she's like, you know, go over there, stand over there, and she's like, no, I want to sit, I want to stand over there. Everything just comes off like big sister, little sister. And there's so many great moments of that she's playing this. You see that even though she's kind of hard on Tootie, and she is like, you need to go to bed, you know, oh, Tootie, you're a naughty girl. You can kind of see that like it's all coming from like this protective older sister that really loves this girl. And it's so sweet to watch. And so that part of the scene I absolutely love.
Yeah, that's what you pick out of that scene as like a highlighting
Those
point.
Are the highlights of it, now that I know, and now that I sadly know that where the origins of this song. If I were to just talk about the performance of it, I think I like their relationship. You see little moments where they're kind of talking to each other under,
Under their breath.
under their breath. Just little things like that that I'm like, wow, I wonder if that was a coached, rehearsed moment, or if that was a natural moment, because it comes off so natural. So, bravo to both of them. It's just their chemistry with each other is just so great.
For sure. As Esther finally bids John goodbye from the party, she basically hopes to see him again during the whole trolley ride construction site of the World's Fair. The slight way that she bids him goodnight in regards to like asking him to follow her through the house to turn off all the lights because she's scared of like mice coming out when she turns the lights off. So romantic. So romantic.
I love that this was flirting and that this was like
It
romance
is.
back in the day, because
Oh
it's so
my
subtle,
goodness.
but just if you don't watch closely, you'll miss it because it's so, I feel like it's so slight. Like if you're watching it and you're seeing him with the little twister to kind of twist off the light, the lanterns and the lights, because some of it is actual flames and some of it is light bulbs, but you'll see when he's kind of holding his arm up and kind of doing this. If you watch Judy, she's ever so slightly getting closer to him and kind of like nestling herself into his body in the darkness. And it's like, obviously he's such a dunce that like there's so many moments that he just like fumbles the ball. Like she wants him to profess his love for her or like kiss her or something, and her body language is showing it, and he just keeps like, I don't know, like he's such a doofus. Like,
yeah, don't twist it this way, you twist it the other way, so it'll be an excuse for her to put her hand on his hand to like twist the light the certain way, or like, yeah, she'll do that nestling thing like you're saying, but then he'll be like, okay, well then let's go to the other rooms to go turn off all the other lights. She's like, okay, you've dropped the ball now a couple of times, you could have just planted one on me. But he's a gentleman. I don't think it's just about him being a dunce. I think it's also about him being a gentleman.
No, I think it's also him being a doofus, because when she's close to him, like saying the wrong things, like when she gets close to him and he's like, oh wow, I love your perfume.
That's right, yeah.
And she's like, oh yes, it's essence of violet, I keep it for special occasions. And he's like, you smell just like my grandma. And I'm just like, oh, like, and you kind of, the music kind of goes like, like it makes like a funny noise, and her face kind of gets like,
oh brother. Yeah, this whole scene, I mean, I particularly, if you pay attention to the camera work here, this scenic design, it's so gorgeous. The backlighting on the windows every time they turn one of the inside lights down, for photography's sake, they have to give you more backlighting, so the lighting up from the streets will like intensify as the interior goes down. The shadows that are across the floor, sometimes even across Judy, the shadows that are cast from like the windows. Honestly, I just think that a lot of this has to do with how incredible the director was on this project, because directors at that time were really doing so much. I mean, they didn't have the types of teams that they have nowadays, where you've got a different person doing so many different things. So I feel like, kudos to everyone involved with just how beautiful the cinematography is in this scene. If I could extract one scene from this movie to watch just to appreciate the value of what Vincent did on this film, it would be this scene.
Yeah, I agree that the lighting in this scene is very well choreographed. It kind of leaves you in this like romantic, glowing,
very much so,
ready to smooch on each other. But again, he fumbles.
We have a ballad that we cut into from this scene, which is called Over the Banister. What are your thoughts on this song? Because quite frankly, I can't remember it.
If you asked me to sing it right now, I probably wouldn't know any of the lyrics to
so
it.
It's not just me.
No, again, I think this is, I could be wrong, but I feel like this was actually a traditional song of that time. I do not believe, unless it was written so well that it sounds like it's from that time, I believe this is another maybe um piano hit of the day, but again, Judy sounds great, and it's just another
Just sounds like a
traditional 1900 song that was kind of take it or leave it.
yeah. I agree.
And then I believe right after this is when, you know, she kind of realizes that nothing's going to happen, and they say goodnight to each other and shake hands, and he's like, you have a really strong grip or something, or you have a really strong
and you're like,
handshake.
come on, dude.
Yeah, he didn't, he wasn't very suave, but maybe that kind of
No.
went into his charm. Like he really was just kind of like he was kind of a dopey teenage boy that she just had a crush on. And like he was not like a romance idol, or he was not like, you know, a very suave character. He just was like, I'm just happy to be here.
Any of that for sure. We do go from this scene on to the next day. That is basically Esther and her friends getting on the trolley to head to the exposition park area where they're doing the construction. Did they just want to see the construction site? Was that I didn't really get the point of it. It must have been, right?
Yeah. The point is, it's the 1900s.
Uh-huh.
There's not a lot to do.
So they just
watching the construction
site was exciting.
Was like, these kids are like, let's go see, which I don't even know how much they did, because the way that they talk about it at certain points is that it's just a swamp. So I think there is a cut scene from the movie where you actually do get to see them at the construction site, but it did get cut from the film. But I know that they were going to where this Louisiana Purchase exposition exhibit was going to be, and I think it was not very far into construction, and I think it's just like a big swampy area that they're going to clear out and, you know, build this World's Fair.
So yeah, so that's why they get that's the purpose as to why they get on the trolley, and we go into the trolley song, which is the most famous, I would say, part of this. Actually, I think this holds up there. The trolley song holds up there with Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I think both of those are equally memorable scenes from this movie. But yeah, we get the trolley song. What are your thoughts on the trolley song?
It's funny that you say that, because I feel like both songs are very popular, but people in general would assume this song is from Meet Me in St. Louis. I feel like you see a lot of pop culture trivia when it comes to Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Like, people often forget that she was the first person to sing that song, and this is the song was actually written for this movie. So yeah, I would say that this would most definitely be like the song that people most relate to Meet Me in St. Louis would be the trolley song. And I think from this movie to the end of Judy Garland's career, I think this was one of her staple songs that never left her set list. I think she always did the trolley song. So it was pretty up there when it came to signature songs of Judy Garland.
I also like the choreography once again with the cramped space. I think that being so tight and enclosed, you think to yourself like, well, there's not a lot to do, but there is a lot to do, and they managed to squeeze in every little, you know, angle. They get her in every inch of that trolley at one point during this song. So yeah, kudos to that, because I think that that's really cool. You do a lot with limited space.
This kind of goes back to what I was saying about the living room scene with them doing Skip to My Lou. It shows how well the cinematography and the camera work was, that these scenes could easily be filmed and look cramped, crowded, uncomfortable, and it came off like you were able to show every aspect and every angle and make it look interesting. They are showing more of her uncomfortable, her being uncomfortable, kind of like elbowing her way through the people, trying to find a spot, kind of feeling a little left out because everyone's having such a good time, and Esther is bummed that this boy that she has a crush on did not make it. So she's kind of, leaning against the railing, kind of looking out, or like the girls, she kind of sits in between these two girls and one girl moves over to go sit with the other girl again, almost like they're all having a good time and she's kind of being a Debbie Downer. And then when she finally sees John kind of, hey, wait for me, all of a sudden her mood lifts, and then she's the star of the scene. All of a sudden she's the center of attention because her mood has completely changed, and then she starts singing her solo verses of the Trolley song. And I don't know, it's all done so well. Vincent Minnelli is really a great director, and he can make so much happen with so little. Like, I feel like with it, I won't say any director, because there were a lot of amazing director, but given the wrong director, I feel like some of these scenes could have looked so clunky, because you're not given much with these scenes. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I feel like there are some thin points to the plot.
Oh, absolutely.
And given the wrong person, they would have been like, what do I do here?
Yeah, it would have just fallen flat.
So, but he gives everything such a life and gives it so much to look at. So it is a very good, like, you got to kind of hand clap the cinematography and the camera work here.
Agreed.
Another thing that makes me laugh about this scene, though, is what is the trolley driver? Is he in a rush? Are they late? Do they have an appointment?
Is it like flying down the street?
Gosh, this trolley is like whipping from side to side, and like they're kind of. There's moments where I'm just like, he's about to drive off the freaking street. Like the backdrop, like the film in the background that's showing them going down the street. I'm like, are they going like 90 miles an hour? Like, it feels like they are going.
Those men on the set that had probably the big 2x4s underneath the set trolley, like jumping up and down to get it to shake, were working overtime.
Like, I would have had motion sickness up there. I'm shocked.
They probably did.
Grew up.
They probably did.
But yeah, it's just funny because at moments you're just like, this trolley is flying. It's like Crazy Taxi up there.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Before we go on to the next scene, I do want to say that I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. There was a scene that was cut out before they go from summer to fall, right after the trolley song. They get to the fairgrounds and they get off the trolley and they kind of are looking around, and there was actually supposed to be a song here, a duet between, or maybe not a duet. I don't know if John actually sang in the song or if it was a Judy solo and he was just there, but there was a song called Boys and Girls Like You and Me, and Judy Garland performs this song. And it's funny because, not to say anything about the songwriters of the other songs, but they had this song that was cut from the Broadway musical Oklahoma, from Rodgers and Hammerstein. So they have this big song, and I don't know if maybe the movie was just running long and they didn't know, they decided like, let's just cut this part, it's not important. But I always thought it was funny that they had this, this song from Rodgers and Hammerstein, and they decided to cut that song from
that would be the one that you choose to get rid of.
I just feel like that was like, they were such a big writing team.
Maybe it was royalties. Maybe MGM said scrap it.
So they do, they have
you know what I mean?
I don't know.
You never know.
So yeah, they had this song, they recorded it. You can find recordings of Judy Garland out there singing it, but the actual film of it is lost because they just didn't keep those things. If it hit the cutting room floor, most likely it was going to be swept away and burned and put in the trash can.
I wonder what the real reason behind it was. My guess is financial, but I'm just guessing.
I don't know, because was Oklahoma their first big musical together? So maybe it was cheap and they just didn't like the scene.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, Oklahoma was the first musical written by the duo Rodgers and Hammerstein. So they just had the song and they just, decided against it.
Interesting, very, very interesting.
But I just thought that was an interesting little tidbit. And I think at some point later in life, it found itself in a revival of, I think, like State Fair or something.
Oh, interesting.
Like, they because they take these songs and they plump up these musicals.
Oh my gosh, like
for revivals,
like the Berlin catalog. The Irving Berlin catalog gets like recycled so much in Broadway
or
musicals.
Cole Porter. Like
Cole Porter
if you
too.
go and look up revivals of Anything Goes, they're like, okay, we need another song here, and they'll pull something from his old catalog.
Yeah.
But I think later in life, this song, I think it's shown up in like revivals of like Cinderella. It's shown up in like State Fair. They just kind of plop it along wherever they need like a like a romantic song.
Yeah,
but you know,
it's fun to deep dive that stuff for musical theater fans out there, you know.
Mm-hmm. People probably know that song from some revival they probably heard or saw.
Okay, well, why don't we wrap up part 1 here before we jump on to the next season in the film?
Did we only got through 1 season?
Yes, but the first part is
summer's long. It's
long.
It's a long summer.
Yeah, summer's long.
You're right. You're right.
The movie in general, the first half of it, by the time you get into Halloween, yeah, it's quite.
Yeah, you're so right. Like even though it's divided into the 4 seasons, like I feel like the first half is summer, and then they're like bloop fall, bloop winter, and then like 5 minutes of spring.
Yeah, spring is just like a conclusion. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Please go out and follow us on social media. Where can they find us, babe?
At Hollywood Hubbies. It's very simple. Just kidding.
IG, TikTok. Please leave comments. We love hearing from you guys. So drop your comments when we make our posts. Please share our podcast. And yeah, because before you know it, we're going to hit 5K listens, you know?
Yes, we got to get there. Come on, Judy fans. We're giving you another
Judy gays.
Yes,
up there.
We're giving you another Judy Garland classic from the list.
Yeah, we probably have 5 more, but
oh god. Yeah, I haven't. That's crazy. Gosh. Top 25 musicals of all time, and she's been in 3 of them so far.
And her daughter's in one of them too.
Yeah,
that's also crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is also crazy.
That's a legacy family.
All right. Well,
until next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.